13th, and it is the middle of summer vacation here in Japan, or Natsuyasumi if you want to be a weeb about it. So actually the entire month of August is Natsuyasumi for Japan, and the kids don't have lessons, they just have like club activities or like other extracurricular activities, but the teachers still have to come to school every day. So I've been going to work every day, but this week is Oban, so the entire week we have off, and I have a lot of free time, so I can finally get into reading. So I had initially planned on going to the beach to read because that was just kind of the vibe for me, but last Thursday there was a really big earthquake in southern Japan, so they were kind of nervous that this earthquake might trigger another big earthquake or like an even bigger earthquake, and that would be probably in the exact area that I was planning to travel to. So I will not be going to the beach, just as kind of a safety precaution. It's not like guaranteed that the earthquake is going to happen or anything, but you know, it's better to be safe than sorry in my opinion. So I will not be going to the beach, and instead I decided I would just read some really beachy books and try to pretend that I'm at the beach. I picked up these two Emily Henry books in my last vlog. I have Happy Place and Beach Read, and you know, they have like a very summery vibe, so I thought that these would do the trick. I think I'm going to read Beach Read first and then Happy Place. I actually don't really know much about these books. I know almost nothing about Happy Place, but Beach Read I think is about some writers at the beach. That's the extent of what I know about this book, and I've heard that Happy Place is her best book, so I want to save that for last, just in case, you know, it ends up being like really good and amazing, because like I don't want to like read a really good book and then like read a book that's not as good and be like disappointed, you know, because I feel like sometimes that can trigger a reading slump for me. So instead I will be reading this first. First I'm going to eat lunch because I am so hungry. Okay, it's 5 p.m. No, little after 5 p.m. now, and I'm about 50 pages into my book. I don't know, so far it's okay. I am enjoying it. I just like haven't been able to like, you know, like lock in. I got distracted and I looked at TikTok for like a good 30 minutes there, and then I had to eat some snacks, so that also caused a distraction, but it is interesting. I'm going to try and kind of like lock in now, but I do need to eat dinner at some point, so I will have to pause for that. But so far I'm enjoying it. It's now after midnight, and I am like over halfway through the book. I've read like this much, so it took me a little while to get into the beginning part of the book, but once things started picking up, I started having a really good time. Yeah, I never thought that I would be like pining after a man named Gus, but here we are. I really like the way Emily Henry writes, like dialogue and banter. It feels like very natural, and it feels like real conversations that people would actually have. I feel like sometimes I'm reading books and like the conversations just feel really weird, and I'm like, if someone said this out loud, I wouldn't be their friend. But these conversations are good. They say good things and they make me giggle. I've giggled so many times and I'm just like constantly giggling. Although to be honest, there is some like tonal whiplash for me sometimes. Like, I don't know, I just like, maybe it's just that I haven't read a lot of like Hurt Comfort, but yeah, it kind of like throws me off when people are like crying and then all of a sudden we're like making out. Like that's maybe that's just like not something I'm into personally, but that's been rough. Aside from that though, I like how their relationship is progressing. I do wish it was like a little bit more of like a slow burn. I don't know, it's kind of weird the way the relationship is playing out. It's quite different from the other books I read, because I usually do read books where they are like not together until like almost the end, and then there's like some big confession, and so far there hasn't really been like big confessions, like at least not in the amount that I've read, but yes, I am having fun so far. I'm gonna try and finish it tomorrow, but I think it's time for me to sleep now, or I will not wake up until noon tomorrow, and that will just be a disaster. So I'm going to sleep now. Oh yes. Breakfast. I've been reading this book. Okay, by the way, look at this art. Isn't this so beautiful? I'm like in love with the style. It's gorgeous. Anyway, I've been reading this book for like almost a month now, and I am still only like 25 pages in. It is rough going, guys. Like I have to look up like words every like every 5 words there's a new word I have to look up, and so many of them are like 2 kanji words, so then I also have to look up the kanji because it doesn't have any yomikattas written in, so it's just like really slow going. But you know, at least we're making progress. I'll get there eventually. Oh, that's a cool page. Okay, I'll get there eventually. Okay, hi. I finished reading Beach Read last night at midnight, so I just wanted to go over my thoughts really quick. I'm not going to do like a full proper review because I don't want to. I really liked the writing in this book. I feel like Emily Henry writes in a way that feels really natural, and it feels very contemporary and modern. I don't know like how well it will age, like in 50 years from now. I don't know that this book will still read the same way that it does now, because there is a decent amount of slang and like pretty contemporary references, which I don't always love in a book, but in this book it felt a lot more neutral than, like, for example, Ali Hazelwood. If you've ever read any of her books, those books are like so reference heavy. Like overall, that didn't really take me out of the reading experience, and like the way she writes is very beautiful. She has like a lot of like good lines. I highlighted a lot of stuff, and then I did not proceed to mark any of the highlights with sticky notes. so there's no way of knowing where any of the highlights are. Okay, it's done. All right, so again, I really enjoyed the writing. I feel like the way she writes is very romantic, and like the way she writes feelings is really beautiful. So for example, I thought this one really hit. I always liked that thought, the way two people really did seem to grow into one, or at least two overlapping parts, trees with tangled roots. And then like I also really enjoyed that this book actually has plot that is enjoyable to read, because I feel like a lot of the time when I read a romance novel, it's just kind of like hot garbage, to be honest. Like the plot, the actual plot, like if you took the romance out of the story, like the side plot, the subplot would just be nothing. And I think that's fine if the romance is like well done enough to balance out the complete and total lack of plot. But like I like it when the plot actually makes sense, especially if the plot is going to make up such a big part of the novel. And this book has like such a nice subplot. Like honestly, if you took the romance out of this story, I feel like there's still enough plot there for this to be an enjoyable read. It's not something that like I personally could relate to, but that actually made it kind of a more enjoyable reading experience, because it was like stuff that I'm not used to and stuff that like I obviously haven't not obviously, but like yeah, it's stuff that I haven't experienced, which is like part of the reason why you read, you know. You like don't want something to be too real for you personally. And ultimately, I think that's kind of the reason why I didn't love this book in the end, is it does feel super real. Like this book feels like something that could actually happen. Like I guess I would describe it as like deeply Midwestern, and having been born and raised in the Midwest, like it just kind of feels like something that like one of my friends would tell me about how she met her boyfriend. I can understand why a lot of women would like this book, or why a lot of people would like this book, because it does feel very real, and I could definitely see people like projecting themselves into this story, especially if you are like a Midwestern white woman. That being said, it just felt too real for me. Like when I read romance, I want to be taken out of my own life. I want to experience things that I have never experienced before, especially when it comes to romance. Like romance is very much like something I use to escape reality, and with this it just didn't really feel like I was escaping. Ultimately, I don't think that's a bad thing in general. It was just a bad thing for me. I think it speaks more to like what I like in literature, and I would still recommend this like wholeheartedly to people. Ultimately, I think that I would give this like a 3.75. It was almost a 4, but like yeah, it's definitely not like one of my top 10 books of the year or anything. It was just like an enjoyable read. But yeah, I think I'm going to read Happy Place now. Wait, I thought of something else that I need to talk to you about that really took me out of the experience of reading this book. The locations they choose for their extracurricular activities are truly something else. Really? Like, really? In the basement? In the dusty basement of your father's second home? In the woods near a suicide cult? Like, are you kidding? That was kind of a lot. Maybe that's just saying something about me, but like that really threw me for a loop. That was one thing I had to add. Okay, sorry, I'll go away now. Hi, it's Friday. I'm gonna be so free with you. I did not read much yesterday. I read like 50 pages. Like, okay, at the cafe I read like 2 pages, but it was super loud so I couldn't focus, and then I just kind of got distracted for the rest of the day. So then I read a whole bunch right before bed, but it was kind of stressful because we were trying to figure out, so there's a typhoon 7 is coming to Japan right now, and we weren't sure if it was going to hit Tokyo like what day exactly it was going to hit Tokyo, but it's hitting Tokyo today. We are going to stay in Tokyo, so we don't have to get up super early tomorrow, but we decided that it's probably not the best idea to go to Tokyo today because it sounds like a lot of the trains are going to be stopped for at least half the day. We're going to Tokyo tomorrow morning, and I have today to read a lot, I guess, and study. I can give you my first impressions of the book. So like so far I'm liking it a little bit better than Beach Read. Just like the vibes feel a little bit better. The writing is great. I'm loving the found family vibes. I don't love the male lead. What's his name? Win? I think his name is Win. Just because he's not really like my type, but that doesn't mean that he's like a bad male lead. I think maybe Emily Henry and I just have different tastes in men, and that's fine. I totally get why he would be attractive to other people. I just don't really like people with blue eyes, and I don't like people with beards. Those are two major turnoffs for me. When I see other people with blue eyes, I just wonder if we're like distantly related. So I'm not loving the male lead, but we'll give him time. I'm only like 50 pages in. And like the premise of this also doesn't really make much sense to me because like I get, so like mild spoilers if you're wanting to go into this book completely blind. Like I get wanting to preserve this like happy memory for your friends, but also like just tell them. Why didn't they just tell them? I don't get it. Yeah, I don't understand why they don't just like come clean, because it feels like it would save everyone a lot of like discomfort later down the line, because they're gonna tell them eventually, and then the problem is if they tell their friends like later, like it's gonna make their friends feel bad in retrospect, and then that's gonna taint the memories anyway. But you know, just go with it. I'm just gonna go with it. It doesn't matter. You're not supposed to think too much about romance. I am enjoying it. I'm having fun. It just took a minute. Actually, I got into this a lot faster than I got into Beach Read. I'm not very far in, but I already have so many tabs. Okay, it's not super late. It's like 6. It just gets dark super early in Japan. But I'm like close to halfway through this book, and I am enjoying it a lot. If they don't figure things out soon, if they don't start communicating, I'm going to throw this book into the nearest river, because like I cannot with them anymore. It was fun and flirty at first, kind of like the my toaster oven just censored me. Pro tip, if you like cookies and you live in Japan, it's so hard to find good cookies, but I recently realized the cookies at 7-Eleven are really good and soft and yummy if you put them in your toaster oven for like a minute. Okay, anyway, the sexual tension. It was fun in the first half, but I'm getting over it. It's getting old. I'm getting frustrated. If they don't communicate, I am going to set this book on fire. I can't stand miscommunication as a central conflict. So I'm not having fun right now, but I am, but I'm not. I'm gonna read more now. What the hell is this? This is supposed to be like a cute romance novel. What the heck? I did not sign up for this. Oh my god. The vegetarian hot dog store.
How did you specifically?
Mojito.
美味しいよ。
美味しい。
美味しい。 パイナップルサルサとトマトとキウイ。
自分の過去に何があろうがこの先大切に思ってくれ。
The next station is Tokyo.
Look, all these people are going to go see B first. It's just a big stream of people going to see B first.
Okay, hi. It's like a week later now, and I realized as I was editing that I never filmed my final thoughts on Happy Place. So we're gonna do that really, really quickly because I have somewhere I need to be in literally 5 minutes. I'm probably gonna put out a proper video with like all my thoughts as like a drawing review later. I really liked this book. I actually ended up loving it, and it ended up being my second 5-star book of the year. I, as you can see, marked it up a lot. There were just so many good quotes and things. I thought that it wrapped up really well. I liked the ending. All the characters really grew on me in the end. By the end, I even liked Win, which I think is such a testament to how well Emily Henry can write characters, because like I really did not think I was gonna like that man by the end of this book, but you know, like he really pulled through. I was kind of frustrated with all the like lack of communication, I guess, but it worked out in the end, and I guess that like made the story a story. I think perhaps we could have resolved some things earlier, but you know, I think the way things played out was necessary. I think you needed to have that like build up in order to have like an interesting climax. I'll get into my proper thoughts in my real review, but that's just like a very, very quick review. I thought it was cute. I thought it was adorable. It also like completely ripped my heart out of my chest at times. Like reading this, I was sobbing at points, which I did not expect. I knew some people were like, oh yeah, this book made me cry, but like I didn't think it was actually gonna make me cry, because I cry easily, but like I feel like people on the internet exaggerate how often books make them cry. But yeah, this did make me cry. It's really cute. Pick it up, please read it. I would 100% recommend it. Very adorable. That's it for my vlog this time. Thank you for watching. I love you and appreciate you, and I hope that you enjoyed your summer vacation. And if not, I hope you can have a wonderful fall or winter or whenever you are watching this. And yeah, I'm gonna go do things now and be productive. You should do that too. All right, bye friends.